Hello, and welcome to another edition of Alien Investigations. I'm your host, Steven, and I've got David Pease here with me. How's it going, David?
Great, how are you?
Very well. Even though this video is going to be released probably a couple of months from now, this video is being recorded on the heels of Matt and Mike's very special event for which we, David and I, and a number of other people are now the proud owners of a handful of Gen Con cards from the X-Files Collectible Card Game. The demo versions that were released, well, actually they weren't released, to be fair. They were only made available to people demonstrating the game at Gen Con in 1996 and were intended to be returned following the convention. However, there were a few that made it out into the wild, and recently some people have decided to part ways with them for a pretty penny, of course. And thanks to Matt and Mike, some of us are now getting the opportunity to own a little bit of the history that is the X-Files Collectible Card Game.
And yeah, and what makes them even more collectible and great to have, you said they had to be returned. Not only were they returned, but if I remember correctly, they had to be destroyed. So there were quite a few of them, and it got reduced to, I think they were speculating, less than 100.
That is correct. Yeah, Dave Frank did say that in one of their previous recordings, that he suspected not a majority of that 300 made out. And he was stating even this evening that he's not even sure 300 got printed as was planned, because it was such short notice that they were going into, Gen Con 96 with those cards. So they had to make some quick turnaround on the printer. And so it's possible that we're working with even fewer numbers. So the fact that you and I are now the proud owners of some of these cards is something special. And I will say, don't be surprised if you should see some Gen Con cards make an appearance on this channel in the form of either perhaps one of my agent teams, or maybe one of the cards within my oversized bureau deck. We shall see, but it'll be very exciting to see those cards appear on the channel in play. So yeah, that's some stuff to look forward to. So this evening, though, we do have a special game planned for you guys as well. Not nearly as special as a Gen Con drawing, but we'd like to think we can follow it up with a nice little encore. David and I will be playing not just a regular game of the X-Files CCG. We're going to be playing with cards found in not just the Premier Edition, the Truth Is Out There Edition, the 1013 expansion, and probably a few promos in there. In addition to all of those, David and I have included a few cards from Dax Golding's very own Dream Collection. And if you're not familiar with those, you can find them in the album folders on his Facebook group titled the X-Files Collectible Card Game. A number of custom cards that he has designed over the years and has made them available to some of us diehard fans who are just looking to see an expanded universe with new cards that we can use to complement the existing cards. So David and I are going to actually be playing with some of those cards this evening, and for me, this is the first time I've used a number of these. We traditionally don't use custom cards.
When you proposed this particular theme night, I was very excited. I'd love to get Dax's name out there. He's very big in the community, and love to pay homage to that and use his cards and show people what he's put together. And yeah, he's just a great guy, and love to be able to get these cards out on the table and take advantage of his creativity and show off what he's done.
Well said. I mean, from what I've seen, nothing obvious has jumped out at me as far as mechanical issues go with the cards. But sometimes you just don't see that until you actually get down and playing with them in the course of a game, and you realize, oh, there's some ambiguity, right, or a very nuanced mechanical issue that needs to be adjusted on the card. So we might run into that, which will be an added bonus for Dax, as I will make him well aware. But I have put a number of his cards in here, so I'm confident we'll see at least a few come up in the course of the game. Not the least of which will be some of the agents that we're going to be playing with, for they are from Dax Golding's Dream Folder. And David, why don't you go ahead and introduce us to the agents you'll be using to investigate this evening?
Yeah, let me pull them out to the middle here so we can do this. And got to do the glasses here. So
of course, yeah, get that out of the way. As I said, you look very distinguished in them.
Yeah, and a little salt and pepper on the side there to give it the professor look there. But
bingo.
To start with, and what I consider my lead agent here is Agent Dana Scully. Now, all the skills, the game effect, all those things are the same, but Dax did add a fun promo image there from the later seasons, so I decided to throw that in there. I also have just a regular card here, Agent Nancy Spiller, Agent Henderson. Here's another Dax special, Agent Brem. Am I pronouncing that right, Brem?
Yeah.
Agent Miller?
Yes, is there a problem?
I'm Special Agent Brem, here to inform you that this hospital is under terror threat. Got a cordon of agents near the building as a precaution against an attack, but I need to clear this wing until we can bring in the bomb squad.
You know where the threat came from?
An anonymous caller, but a very clear guess. There's a large and unassimilated Muslim community in the area with one shared wish.
One shared wish to what?
To wipe you and America off the map.
I've got him on my team, and his game effect, if Agent Brem begins the briefing phase in the Bureau, he may contribute his res to the conspiracy pool. And the deck I put together, I'm going to need that. So this card worked perfectly for what I was trying to do. And then to round it off here, I've got Detective Manners.
Interesting. Yeah, good combination of agents there. In fact, there's a couple of them over on my team as well.
I noticed that, yeah.
But I'm glad you have Agent Scully on your team, because it wouldn't be a complete game if Mulder wasn't going to be a part of this as well, for which he is. For he will be the lead agent on my team, and he'll be joined by Agent Monica Reyes, another one of Dax's custom agent cards, Detective Manners, Agent Kresge, and I also included Agent Brem on my team as well. He does have 2 res, which is a very helpful, considering I don't have a whole lot coming from my agents, especially because Detective Manners and Detective Kresge each have 0 res. But we'll see. This is a team I obviously have not used any previous games, and like you, David, it will be some unfamiliar territory that will be, charting in the course of this game. But nevertheless, it will prove interesting. So why don't we decide who's going to be going first? You know my usual method for determining that. So I've got 2 tokens here. If David pulls this one, he will be the conspiracy player. If he pulls this one, he'll begin as the investigating player. All right, David. So which hand is it going to be?
It will be your left.
My left. You will be starting off as the conspiracy player this evening, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I actually kind of like that. A lot of people like to start off as the investigator. They feel like it gives them an early lead or something like that. But I kind of like to see what people are doing, and what's, the sites and witnesses that they play can give you a clue as to what their deck might be themed.
All right, so you ready to draw your 7?
Yep.
All right, let's get this game started. We are a go, ladies and gentlemen, and I will draw my free card to begin the turn. Okay, so as we head into the briefing phase, I'm going to begin by assessing my agent's res numbers. Mulder has 2. However, his 2 res will be used to purchase cards every round. Monica Reyes has 1. Agent Brem has 2. And as I mentioned earlier, Detective Manners and Agent Kresge both have 0. So I'm only going to be generating res from Mulder, Reyes, and Brem. And of the 5, I'm going to just take the 2 for Mulder, and I'm going to add the remaining 3 to my resource pool. And I'll turn it over to you, David. Sell as you like.
I'm going to sell 2 cards. First is Garrett Thomas for 1, and then a combat card. I like including these. I don't want to sell it, but That's worth 3. So I'm going to get 4 conspiracy. Takes me up to 9. And I am not going to purchase any cards. So back to you, sir.
That tells me you're feeling pretty good about your hand. Seeing as this is the inaugural round, my agents are in top-notch health and thus in no need of any healing. So we'll brush past that to the requisition phase, in which I did actually pull an equipment card, and it's actually one of Dax's equipment cards, so I'm inclined to put it to the test. So I will be requisitioning the leather jacket to Agent Fox Mulder, and that is going to set my resource pool back 3. Now, the leather jacket allows me to place 2 tokens on this card, and I will discard 1 token to gain 1 of 2 effects, plus 1 modifier to 1 subterfuge skill check, or to prevent 1 damage point assigned to the agent with this card. So only 1 token may be discarded per turn. When no tokens remain, move this card to your discard pile. So I'm going to throw 2 tokens on that handy-dandy leather jacket there, and we'll move into the deployment phase. We will be sending all of the agents out to the field for case assignment. We will be sending the team to Newark, New Jersey. This is a mono-site, David, with the keywords method and evidence collection.
Mulder, FBI.
My forensics team's just wrapping up. We left the body where we found it. Kenny! This is one case I'm going to be happy to turn over to you guys. Watch this, though.
Yeah, wouldn't want to step in anything.
And I'm going to use one of Mulder's 3 tokens to pay for that site. What do you have for me?
No bluffs.
Let's head into the investigation phase. As I mentioned, the keyword on this card is evidence collection, so the prerequisite is going to be evidence collection 4. Mulder has 2, Monica Reyes has 1, Detective Manners has 1, and Agent Brem has 1 as well. So that gives me a total of 5 evidence collection, enough to make the prerequisite for the site. And at this point, I don't have any cards that I need to play, David, so I'm going to yield to you. Do you have any cards you'd like to play on me?
Then I will play an adversary, if this is...
Oh, let's see it.
Simon Gates, a.k.a. Pharaoh. There is no game effect on this one. 0 on long range, 10 on short range, and 7 health. That costs 6. That'll take me down to 3.
The others were all false prophets. You are the only true one among the 12.
Stop! Federal agent, I'm armed! Let him go! Let him go and we'll talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about. I was called upon.
Well, I should have no trouble. I should have no trouble with that, provided you're not sitting on any sweet combat card. So therein lies the quandary. So we're not going into combat yet. I'm mulling this over because I have one of 2 ways I could go about resolving this.
Okay.
I could use one of Detective Manners' 2 tokens to call out a witness that would make quick work of that adversary. Alternately, I could just let us take a crack at the combat, which, as I say, they're gonna get They're gonna get first shot at Simon Gates because he has no long range.
I stand by my cards. What are you gonna do?
Oh boy. Well, if you are bluffing, you are doing a very, very nice job of it. So I think instead of going into combat and risking you playing a debilitating combat card on me, I am going to use one of Manners' 2 tokens to call forth a witness. And David, would you like to take a guess what witness you think I'm calling forth?
Mulder, I think that you and the hypnotherapist were leading her, and I think that there was more confabulation in the second version than in the first.
I think you're wrong about that, Scully. But I do think you're right about one thing, that this case might not have anything to do with aliens.
Hey, I just got a call from some crazy blankety-blank claiming he found a real live dead alien body.
I know what you're planning to do, but I don't remember the specific card that's going to make it happen. So it'll be a surprise to all of us.
All right. For the card that I have decided to pull from my bureau deck, courtesy of Detective Manners' awesome game effect, is the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, which, for the low cost of 2, will allow me to negate 1 occult adversary.
I even have that in my deck. I should have been able to guess that.
Yeah, and it was one of the Gen Con cards that was handed out this evening. Do you have any other cards you'd like to play?
I do not. You're free to investigate.
All right, thank you very much. And as I mentioned earlier, the question, should this site prove successful, is a method question. David, is your X-Files method violence?
It is not.
It is not. All right, so I will scratch off all of the X-Files that contain a method of violence. Not a bad start. I will discard Newark, New Jersey, and we'll head into the debriefing phase. How many cards are you sitting on, David?
Just 4, so no discard.
Good deal. All right. I'm good on my end as well. Let's say we pass it to you. Go ahead and draw that free card.
All right. Draw for turn to get things started here. Excellent. And generate res. I've got 2 from Dana Scully, 1 from Nancy Spiller, 1 from Agent Henderson, 2 from Agent Brem, none from Detective Manners.
Of course.
I don't know how I feel about that guy, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I am going to put 2 of those from Agent Brem. You remember his game effect. If he's begins the briefing phase in the bureau, he can contribute his res to conspiracy. So I am going to do that. So I'm going to add 2 to conspiracy and is it 4? I miscounted already.
Yep. No, you're right. 4 to the resource pool.
All right. I will buy 2.
So I have 2 cards I want to sell. The Alien Stiletto for 5 and Deep Throat for 5.
Deep Throat, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to rely on Deep Throat as a crutch in order to pull off a win. I'd prefer to work for the win. So that takes my conspiracy pool up to 15 with those 2 cards. Of that 15, 5 or 6?
Definitely 6.
I don't know. My gut's saying 5. I like the nice round 10, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy 5 cards, and that's going to take my conspiracy pool down from 15 to 10.
You've done your sell and buy, so it's time to go to requisition. There hasn't been
healing.
any
Actually, we go to healing next.
Oh, healing, yes. There hasn't been any combat or any cards played that have caused any damage, so I'll move on from healing. Go to requisition, and I'm not going to requisition any equipment at this time. So we'll move right to deployment. And I am going to move Manners, Henderson, Scully, and Spiller to the field. That having been said, we'll move to case assignments. And we are going to the Positron Emission Tomography Lab in beautiful Allentown, Pennsylvania.
What's wrong with her?
Betsy's in the advanced stages of an undiagnosed cancer ailment. Her body's full of tumors that won't respond to any kind of treatment.
And you think this is the result of her abduction experiences? They've been taking Betsy since she was in her teens. This is what's going to happen to all of us. What do you mean?
I don't know if you understand this or not, Dana, but we're all going to end up like Betsy.
We're all dying because of what they do to us.
This
One of the
is
1013 sites.
Yeah, this is a multi-site. It's Computer 5 or Medical 5. The question I can ask is either affiliation or result.
Affiliation or result, you say?
Indeed.
Okay. I'm going to play one bluff.
And I'm going to use Agent Scully's token to view that bluff.
That bluff is the mailman. Play this card to allow you to move one game effect token from any one card to another immediately. This may not take a card above the normal number of tokens allowed.
I do like that card. I do not like the idea of losing any of my tokens right now, but feeling pretty confident though. I'm going to move all of my agents, even though not all of them have medical. I'm going to move them all to this site for the investigation.
It's a safe decision. Very good. So I'm going to turn over that bluff, which you just saw a moment ago. And again, it is the mailman. And I will subtract 3 to pay for it because it was face down.
Let's finish this, Mulder.
So do you have any cards you would like to use to counter that? Probably a Langley.
You got me.
I got you? Okay. Well, if anything, I got a new token. And I'm going to take one of Scully's remaining 2, and I'm going to give it to Detective Manners. Did use one in the previous round to pay for a witness, so thankfully I got that back. So, do you have any other cards you're going to play at this point?
No other cards. I'm ready to investigate it unless you have anything else.
I do have one more card to play, and that is Computer Access Denied, in which I will force an opponent team to make a Computer 4 skill check, or they will be unable to complete the skill check. I'm going to take my conspiracy pool down from 7 to 5 to pay for that.
Nothing to negate that card, so it looks like I have to.
Oh, that's too bad. That affiliation question will have to wait for another time, won't it?
Oh, and I did neglect to pay for my site, so I'm going to take one off right now.
For shame, David. For shame.
Who's running this game?
It's all good. Let's head into debriefing. Do you have to discard anything?
I have 6, no discard.
All right. Hate to do it, but I'm going to have to discard Mind Control, a very sweet combat card. So, we'll pass it back to me, and I will draw my free card to begin the turn. Once again, my team has a total of 5 res, but 2 of which I'll be using to buy cards courtesy of Mulder's effect. And I think I'm going to stick to that again. I'm going to just take the 2 cards for Mulder and add the remaining 3 to my resource pool, which takes it up from 3 to 6.
Nothing to sell or buy.
Okay.
Up to you.
Thanks. So as we head into healing, I once again am in no need of healing my agents. They are in top-notch health. Requisition phase, I do not have any equipment cards in my hand, so we'll move past the requisition phase and go into deployment. Let's keep the team deployed as they are. I think I have a feeling I might be needing them all. As we head over to case assignment, in which the team will be heading up north, specifically to Dead Horse, Alaska. And this is a multi-site, David, with the keywords alien investigation, evidence collection, affiliation, and result. And so Monica Reyes's game effect is that if Agent Reyes is in the field, all site cards with the keyword alien investigation or occult investigation may be played for -1 RP, which will thus take this cost for Dead Horse Alaska down to 0. It's not a bad game effect.
No, that's great.
So before you lay down any bluff, David, I'm going to play a card, and that is Legacy, which is another one of Dax's dream cards. And Legacy in his event card that I will play this card under any one site during the case assignment phase prior to bluffs being played. If your team successfully investigates this site, add 6 RP to your resource pool. And I will be deducting 2 from my resource pool to pay for that lovely, lovely event card that Dax has conceived. And David, I believe it is now time for you to throw any bluffs at me, if you have any.
I do, and I will. 1 bluff.
That is a very, very interesting card sleeve you have there, David. Could I trouble you to hold it up to the camera?
So I very, very quickly, this was right before the game started, I had to run out and look through all of my old game cards and find some opaque sleeves. And I didn't have enough of the just plain block colors. So I had to grab what I knew I had enough of. And it is this sleeve that I purchased quite a while ago. And at the time, I thought it was hilarious.
And it says what exactly for the audience who may be a little visually impaired?
It says, coming for your nuts, coming for your nuts. And it shows a squirrel here decked out with kind of like a Rambo look there with an assault rifle and a helmet and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely got some Sylvester Stallone vibes going on.
Yeah. Depending on your maturity level, it's either hilarious or juvenile.
I think for a lot of us, it probably falls somewhere in between. So we have 1 bluff assigned to my site, and I'm inclined to play Alien Discretion, in which I will play on a team about to investigate a site with Alien Investigation as a prerequisite, of which it is one of the 2 prerequisites for Dead Horse Alaska. Discard all cards assigned as bluffs at that site. X equals the number of bluffs at the site. And so I will be paying 1 plus the number of bluffs you put on the site, which is 1. So therefore, I'll be deducting 2 from my resource pool. And that bluff, whether it be true or not, is discarded. So what was it? Ooh,
Paul Mussinger. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been paying a pretty penny to reduce my alien investigation skills.
That's a strong team in alien investigation.
You would have had to have paid a minimum of 3 because between my agents, I'm currently sitting on 6 alien investigation, 4 of which is Mulder. The other 2 are from Monica Reyes. So at this point, I have a little bit more than the site prerequisite to make an alien investigation skill check, of which is 5. Of which 5 is the prerequisite, but I'm currently sitting on 6. So what else you got for me, David?
You're going to take an early lead here. I feel like I've got nothing to stop your investigation.
I was so certain you were sitting on something else. But kudos to my team, for they have prevailed, and we have thus been awarded either an affiliation or a result question. And so, why don't we start from the top? By any chance, is your X-Files affiliation alien?
It is not.
It is not. Almost marked off the wrong one. I would prefer an errorless checklist this time around.
Surprised you're not using the online checklist.
I had meant to do so, but a bit of short notice, so I will have to get into that. Did you have a chance to take a look at it yet?
I haven't, and I keep seeing more and more references to it, and everybody sings its praises. What's the gentleman's name who owns that?
Joost Burns from the Netherlands. And yeah, he just joined the Facebook group yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I saw him post about it, and I had every intention.
Finding it.
Yeah, I had every intention of looking at it. I know you and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, another regular on your channel, use it and like it a lot, but I just haven't had the time to take a look just yet.
And the agent selector would not have been especially useful for this particular game because Joost has yet to have a chance to add Monica Reyes or Agent Brem to the agent selector. So it would have been difficult to apply that particular feature to this game. But it's still got a pretty handy-dandy checklist option for weeding out your opponent's X-Files. But let's get back to the investigation. And because my site investigation was successful, I'm going to add 6 to my resource pool, courtesy of the Legacy card. Bravo on that card, Dax. I'm a fan.
I am not a fan.
Well, you just need to get yourself a copy of it. So let Dax know. Just send him a message, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to send you one.
I think I might be visiting that album again and getting in touch with him.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't have any of those cards, I just recommend put some on his next order. I'm sure he's going to be doing one pretty soon. And so, yeah, you can get a chance to throw some more of those awesome cards into your collection there. And, this is not going to be the only game we play with these cards. Now that we're getting some exposure with them, we'll certainly have the option of including them in future games. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and I are actually going to be playing a game this next week. So let's head into debriefing. How many cards are you sitting on?
Small hand right now, just 5. No discard.
Yep. Sitting on 7. Let's pass it over to you.
All right, then I will begin my turn with drawing my free card. Perfect. And then I will generate res. I'm going to start with Agent Brem. He is in the bureau. So I am going to use his res, 2 res, to add to my conspiracy pool to make for 7. And then the remaining agents, Scully's 2, Nancy Spiller is 1, that makes 3, and Henderson is 1, that makes 4. So I will add 4 to make a total of 10. And I'm going to buy 2. And then I will pass it over to you, sir, to sell and buy.
Thank you kindly. I'll be selling just 1 card, Chester Bonaparte, for 5. And of that 5, I think I'm going to draw 3 cards and add 2 to my conspiracy pool.
Very good. Still no damage to any of my agents, so we can move past healing. I am not going to requisition any equipment at this time. So we'll move to deployment. All of my agents are going to stay where they are, 4 in the field and Agent Brem in the bureau. And case assignment. I was just toiling over this. Going to be going to Strikers Cove in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia. This is evidence collection 4+. And the question is affiliation. That will cost me 2.
I will be playing 1 bluff on that site.
I need to mitigate my risks because I can't get skunked. So I'm going to use my last Scully token. I got to see what that bluff is.
No problem. It is Nasty Surprise, a pretty innocuous bluff as far as bluffs go, for it will only add a few tokens to my conspiracy pool.
All right, then we'll move to cases. Nope, we're already cases. We'll move to investigation. I'm going to deploy all 4 agents to Striker's Cove.
How much evidence collection do you have there?
Just looking at that, I've got Scully for 2, Spiller for 1, that makes 3, and then Henderson has 3, so that's 6, and Detective Manners has 1. I have a total of 7 for evidence collection.
Excellent. I'm going to flip over the bluff, and as we previously saw with Scully's effect, it is Nasty Surprise, in which I will play to add 5 tokens to my conspiracy pool, and because it was face down, it only costs 2, so therefore I will add 3 to my conspiracy pool, which is going to take it up to 10. Do you have any cards you wish to play?
Nope. I'm going to forge ahead with, oh, there's that smile. I'm going to go ahead with my investigation. What do you have for me?
I also have, well, I have another one of Dax's dream cards, and I am very happy to be playing this card because of all of his dream cards, this one is a personal favorite. And it is Killer Sunburn from the Conduit episode. It is his bluff that I'm playing face up, so I will be paying the cost of 1, which will take my conspiracy pool down from 10 to 9. Mm-hmm. And Killer Sunburn, David, if you don't recall from scouring the Dream folder earlier, will allow me to change the site prerequisite from evidence collection to alien investigation.
So you haven't out to Lake Okoboji, have you?
No, I haven't. Why?
You should ride with us sometime. You might see some things that'll change your mind. Get a killer sunburn in the middle of the night.
And that is a bluff card, is that correct?
It is indeed. And so now your site prerequisite is Alien Investigation 4, and if I'm not mistaken, you don't have any Alien Investigation amongst the 4 agents assigned to that site.
I got nothing. In fact, I was
not even a witness from Detective Manners will get you out of that one.
No, that's a little too much even for some of my witnesses that I have in here. No alien investigation. In fact, this is you're seeing the beginnings of what I'm going to call my CSI deck. So it's a lot of medical and evidence collection and observation.
A lot of criminal as well, yeah.
I got nothing for alien investigation. So you have successfully thwarted that.
This one's a variant of some of the ones that we saw in the Scully set, the unreleased Scully set, of which we've been gradually seeing some bluffs revealed on the Facebook group, courtesy of Dax. And as I said, this is one that I especially like. It's a bit situational, but it's very effective when it comes up against a team that may not be leaning so heavily in the alien investigation persuasion, of which I've come to expect that from your teams as a rule, David. And so I was sort of banking on that being true tonight. So kudos on that one, Dax.
So not to detract from the game, but I'm still kind of in playtest mode. We've been playtesting since May?
Right?
Undervalued card. Maybe you should cost more than just 1.
I think comparatively, I think some of the Scully set bluffs actually do this exact same effect actually cost the same. So there's a couple examples, which hopefully by the time I have released this video, Dax will have released them all on the Facebook group. But Callahan obstructs the investigation, and I'll also maybe put an image of it on the screen, is one that will be played to change the site prerequisite from observation to bureaucracy. It also costs 1. And another one, Chaos Theory, again, variation on the same theme. is played to change the site prerequisite from occult investigation to evidence collection. And that one also costs 1 CP. Those were part of the planned unreleased Scully expansion. So those that Next Games had conceived of 1 CP being the appropriate cost for a rather situational card like that, and decided to make them all cost 1 CP. And so that's where I got the cost for the She's Got a Date card. So, I yielded to your guys' argument that yes, that could be a very debilitating effect, and it probably should cost more. But again, you have to be banking on your opponent's team, of which you will have generally no foreknowledge going in who their agents are going to be. It may wind up being a card that you have to discard because I'm like, well, I was hoping you wouldn't have a whole lot of alien investigation agents, but turns out you do. But as far as this evening goes, Killer Sunburn has proven a valuable addition to this deck.
I will consider myself sunburned.
All right, so if you have no other cards to play, let's head into debriefing. I have 7 cards in my hand. What about you?
I have exactly 7, so no discard.
All right, so let's pass it back to me then. I'm going to draw my free card to begin the turn. And once again, my team is generating 5 res, and I'm inclined to just take the 2 cards for Mulder and add 3 to my resource pool, which is going to take it up from 8 to 11. What are you selling?
Just 1. I'm going to sell this site, Braddock Heights, Maryland, for 2.
Braddock Heights, Maryland. Gotcha.
Nope, I'm going to sit with what I have.
You're sitting on 9 CP. All right, good to know. So as we go into healing phase, once again, my agents are in top-notch health, so no healing needed. For requisition phase, I have not pulled any equipment cards in this spell. Granted, it's probably because I didn't include too many in this particular one. So we'll be skipping the requisition phase as well. For deployment, we'll be keeping all the team deployed in the field. You know what? Before I play a site, I'm going to use one of Detective Manners' 2 tokens to call forth another witness. Yeah, David, I can almost hear a groan emitting from you because I believe you can probably take a guess which witness is about to be brought into play.
I have a feeling it's going to be my little buddy, Kevin Morris.
Good old drinking buddy. Oh, well, granted, when I say drinking buddy, he's only drinking like chocolate milk. You're the only one actually knocking back hard liquids. I did put him in here. Gosh, is he here? Oh God, tell me I did not forget to include Kevin Morris on the team.
Uh-oh.
I think I missed him is what I did.
It looks like Kevin Morris is grounded.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't think. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Somehow I missed him on the first pass. I mean, I have plenty of other witnesses I could have called forth, but yeah, I was. For a moment, I was scared that I might have forgotten him. But for this evening, our team is going to be joined by Mr. Kevin Morris, who, David, you probably know this game effect by heart for as many times as I've played him. What does he do?
I believe he adds 1 for every card that has the keyword alien investigation, and I think there's 1 more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, though.
It's evidence collection.
Evidence collection.
Yes, and for the low cost of 3 RP, Kevin will be joining this team, and as David did state, he will add 1 to my pool every time a keyword alien investigation or evidence collection card is played. And how fortuitous, because the site for which I'm sending my agents does have the keyword alien investigation. But amongst its other keywords, UFO wreckage in Townsend, Wisconsin has the keywords motive, result, bureaucracy, and as previously stated, alien investigation. And so I will be adding 1 to my resource pool, courtesy of Kevin Morris, and Agent Reyes, who once again, if she is in the field, all site cards with the keyword alien investigation may be played for -1 RP, and thus the cost of UFO wreckage is free.
Wow.
She is proving to be quite a useful addition to the team thus far.
And a very synergistic deck, if that's a word there. But
very much so. I mean, that's part of the staple of this site. First things first, figure out who your agents are. Then build your deck around that. Yes, include your Kevin Morris in there because you're working with an alien investigation heavy team. But make sure that you are including sites, not just that complement their skills, but sites that can actually pay off for certain cards. In this case, so I put a bunch of alien investigation cards in there. I put a bunch of occult in there. So knowing that Monica Reyes can pay for them. And of course, I put a whole bunch of witnesses in there, knowing that Detective Manners can go in and get them should I need them. So yes, it's a very synergistic deck. It doesn't always work. In fact, I've been on a bit of a losing streak. It feels like I've been on a losing streak lately. Nevertheless, David, do you have any bluffs you would like to play on this site?
I do not.
You do not. Let's head into the investigation phase. And as I stated in a previous round, the two agents who have alien investigation skill to contribute to this site are Mulder and Agent Monica Reyes. All of the agents will be assigned to this site, but it will only be Mulder and Reyes who are contributing to the alien investigation skill check. So I have 6 alien investigation, but all I need is 5 for again, motive or result question, should it be successful.
I'm going to take a calculated risk. I've got nothing to stop you. Go ahead and do your best. Go right ahead.
Go with the question?
Yep.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what the risk was in there.
The risk is playing a bit of a long game.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And I mean, granted, you have not seen some of the recordings as of late, but my guesswork has been terrible. Absolutely atrocious. And thus far this evening, that has been holding true to form. But, you know, the fortune could smile upon me at any given time. And we'll find out in just a moment, because I'm about to ask you either a motive or a result question, and neither of which I've asked in a previous round. So, David, I believe I'm going to ask a motive question of your X-File. By any chance, is your X-Files motive ideology?
It is not.
It is not. But that did allow me to scratch off quite a few possibilities. As you had stated, David, you have the long game in mind, as do I, and therefore I will not be asking an identity question of your X-File.
I am going to take this opportunity. I do not have a discard, but I am going to play an event card. It's taking chances. Play this card to search through your bureau deck and add any one adversary card to your hand. Show your opponent which card you have added and shuffle your deck.
He has to go for help. What about the rest of us? What are we supposed to do? Just wait here till help arrives? We have to take a chance. One of us has to hike out. That person might not make it in time. He might not make it down to the road before nightfall. Then what? I say we make a run for it. Split up, take our chances. It's suicide, Dyer. Fine. You stay here. Tell us how it turns out.
Deck. That costs 4.
That costs 4, doesn't it?
Yep.
I think, David.
I'm
gonna go ahead and play No One's So Paranoid, in which I will play to gain one of the following effects: add +1 to computer, negate 1 event, or discard 1 bluff attached to a site. And much as I'm liking that +1 to computer skill, I'm gonna go with the negate 1 event option, and that's gonna take my resource pool down from 9 to 4. I do applaud you for using that card. We do not see that card very often, and I think it's partly because it's a bit expensive to pay for, in addition to whatever adversary you might be pulling.
Indeed.
With that, I just need to discard 1 more card from my hand. I was actually about to say I need to discard 2, but because you played that card, you made my decision a little easier. I'm going to discard the Sandman.
All right.
Let's pass it over to you. Draw that free card, my good man.
I'm going to generate my res, and with Agent Bren in the bureau, I'm going to again take advantage of his res going to conspiracy and boost that up by 2 to 7. And then Scully for 2, Spiller for 1, and Henderson for 1. So that makes 4. Take me up to 10. And as much as I'm liking this hand, I need some variety here. So I'm going to buy another 2. And I will pass it over to you to sell and buy.
I'm going to play Rejuvenating Caves for 2. And for those of you who are unaware, Rejuvenating Caves effect states, play this card next to the X-File you have chosen. Place 10 tokens on the card. Beginning on your opponent's next turn, you may take up to 2 tokens from this card and place them in your conspiracy pool. The tokens become resource tokens. When all tokens have been removed, discard this card. And so I'm going to be placing that lovely, lovely card up there, and I will be adding 10 tokens to it. I think I'll sell 2 cards. Message from the Stars for 5 and Hell Money for 4, which is I hate to let go of that card. That's going to take my conspiracy pool up to 16. And of that 16, I believe I will buy 4 cards.
Going to the healing phase. I have not taken any damage, so we can move on from that. Requisition. I'm not going to requisition any equipment this round. So we'll go right to case assignment. We are going to Cape Cod, Maryland. This is a Sciences 4+ and affiliation question.
No bluffs.
No bluffs. All right. Just in case an adversary pops out, I'm going to just move all 4 to the site. And Sciences 4+, I have Dana Scully with 3, Agent Nancy Spiller with 2, and Agent Henderson with 2. That gives me 7 total.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay 4 to play 1 breath. Play this card to search through your bureau deck and add any 1 event card to your hand. Show your opponent which card you have added. Shuffle your deck. So that's going to take my conspiracy pool down from 16 to 12. I'm going to once again be digging into this deck to find the card that I hope I included. Do a quick shuffle here. Bear with me. All right. All right. So, courtesy of 1 breath, I have pulled Colonel Kissel from my bureau deck, and I will be paying 4 to negate any 1 keyword Sciences card.
Colonel Kissel?
Yes?
Can I talk with you? Special Agent Mulder, FBI.
I've got nothing to say. Please, this is an invasion of my privacy.
Why don't you talk to us about Colonel Budahas?
Why don't you get the hell out of my yard?
Good thing we still kept that appointment.
And I want to give a special shout out to Michael Perrine for sending me that additional Colonel Kissel. I had previously only had 1 in my master set, and he was gracious enough to send me a couple to include in my gameplay decks. Thanks again, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.
I hope he watches the video just for this one moment. I honestly don't know if he watches any of my videos. I think he's watched one of the sealed games, and that's probably about it.
Well, you might have to send him a note to keep an eye out for this one.
Yeah.
Just so he knows that his generosity has helped a fellow player.
Speaking of which, this evening he has included in the envelope that's coming my way a signed Detective Manners card, because I'd asked him previously if he had gotten Larry Musser to sign any of his cards after they interviewed him on the channel last year, and they did. And he actually he's down to his last one, so that is also coming my way. Let's head into debriefing, unless you have any other cards you want to play.
I've got 7 cards, so no discard.
Same. Let's pass it back to me. I will begin the turn by drawing my free card. And it is a blue plate special that I actually just pulled, so I'm kind of debating whether I want to just play it now, get it out of the way.
You know you do.
I really do. It's such a great card, and it's free. Let's do it. Blue plate special. Play this card and flip over the next card in your bureau deck. If that card is playable this turn, you may do so for 0 cost. If you do not play it this turn, move the card to your discard pile. And the card is the shotgun.
Oh.
Which I normally like to sell for CP, but given the situation that I'm in, I'm going to have to requisition it to an agent. Well, I can't actually because
nobody's in the bureau.
Because no one's in the bureau, so damn it. That's not going to work out very well, is it? Well, I'll put it in my hand, but I will have to discard it at the end of the turn, so that was not a worthwhile venture at all. Let's generate some res, shall we? I'm going to just take the 2 for Mulder again and add the 3 to my resource pool, which will take it up to 7.
I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to sell hard evidence for 2.
Oh, don't hate yourself for that.
I'm not going to buy any, so I'll turn it back to you.
Risky business, but I'm going to use one of Detective Manners' tokens to call forth another witness. Unfortunately, that's my last Manners token, so that's where the risk assessment comes into play here. And I'll add the Thinker to my hand. So Manners is now tokenless at this point. Let's head into healing. Currently, I have no agents in need of healing at this point. For requisition, I did draw a very nice shotgun, but unfortunately, since none of my agents are in the bureau, that shotgun is not going to be of any use. For deployment, we'll keep the team deployed in the field. And we'll be sending the team to Browning, Montana. That is an occult investigation site, David, with a motive question.
Mulder, since we've been here, you've acted as if you've expected to find every piece of evidence that we've come across. What aren't you telling me? Why are we here?
And I'm going to use one of Mulder's 2 remaining tokens to pay for that.
Okay.
Wait, any bluffs you might have?
No bluffs.
Okay, no bluffs. Let's head into investigation phase. I currently have occult investigation from Mulder and Reyes. Mulder has 3, Reyes has 2, for a total of 5, which is enough to make the prerequisite unless you have a card that you would like to use to upend my investigation.
Yeah, I got nothing.
And because of that, my site has proven successful, and my team has been awarded yet another motive question. So, David, this time I'm going to see if by any chance is your X-Files motive knowledge.
It is not.
Good Lord, I am definitely playing the long game this evening. Well, you are not Arthur Grable this time. That was your last X-File, which was part of your winning game against me. But unfortunately, because I've been getting all no answers from you this evening, David, I still have quite a few X-Files to choose from. I'd be a fool to really start taking guesses at this point.
We'll see what happens.
So as we head into debriefing, I'm going to discard Browning, Montana. I also need to get rid of something else. I hate to do it because it's one of Dax's cards, but I'm going to discard Covert Warning. I got to get rid of something else here. I am going to get rid of Private McAlpin, the zombie. Because you've been going after you've been going after affiliation cards all evening, so he's not proving very helpful. He's been in my hand for a little while. All right, so now I'm down to 7. So I pass it over to you.
All right, I've got 6, so no discard, but we're going to do this again, taking chances.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Hey, this is a family channel.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm going to fro-hickey that. Sorry, David.
All right, well, let me pay for it.
Yep, I will pay for fro-hickey. That takes my resource pool down to 4. Nice try, though. I like that you're including that card. It's it tells me that you got a very adversary heavy deck. All right, unless you have any other cards to play, I'll pass it over to you.
No other cards, so I'll begin my turn with a free draw here. Oh, generate res. I'm going to take advantage of Agent Brem again and add his 2 to my conspiracy. And then 4 from my agents. I have kind of a stale hand, so I'm just gonna go out there and buy 4. And I'll turn it to you to sell and buy.
I will refrain from selling anything.
All right, well, healing phase, and no one's engaged in any combat, and no card's been played to cause any damage. So we'll move on to requisition. I am not going to requisition any equipment at this time. So we'll move to deployment. All of my agents are going to stay where they are. I'm pretty happy with that, at least. And case assignment, we are once again visiting the Northeast Georgetown Medical Center.
What's his length? Well, what would you recommend?
Brought her here. How did she get here?
Sir, will you please?
How did she get here?
Miss Scully was in this condition when I arrived for the evening shift. If you step outside, perhaps Dr. Daly...
Is that Daly? Are you Dr. Daly? What the hell is going on? How did she get here?
You settled that.
Was it paramedics, FBI, military? Answer me right now! Were you telling me she just appeared?
Formerly called Scully's Dream.
Formerly, yeah, keeping with the theme of Gen Con deck tonight. Northeast Georgetown Medical Center in Washington, D.C. This is a medical site, 4+, and I ask one method question. Any bluffs, good sir?
Yep. 1 bluff.
I'm going to do it all. I'm going to go all in, as they would say in Las Vegas.
All in, baby. And that 1 bluff is Detective Tony Fiore. Play to cause your opponent to discard 2 cards at random from his hand immediately.
At random, eh?
What's all this about?
We believe that the death of Detective Rudy Barbala yesterday can be linked to the death of Officer Morris 9 years ago.
Linked how? And I thought this Barbala flipped his wig and jumped out a window.
Did you know the detective?
By reputation. Look, what's all this got to do with Charlie?
Well, that's what we need your help with.
So space down, I'll be deducting 1 from my conspiracy pool to pay for it.
All right. So I will point to the card, and you tell me yes or no.
That one?
Okay. Set that to the side right there.
And that one.
Okay. Even I'm not sure what they are yet, so let's see what happens. And reveal. Oh, no. Unexpected call.
Ooh.
And rejuvenating caves, the 2 cards I was looking forward to the most.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That is not awesome.
It's funny, I used a dick card to get rid of a dick card. So I'm going to take my conspiracy pool up to 9, courtesy of 2 of the tokens on rejuvenating caves. And so, as we are now in the investigation phase, at this point, David has a clear path to his investigation unless I have something to stop him. And I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it is another one of Dax's cards. This one's an interesting one, David, and I am very happy to have the opportunity to finally be playing this one because it was actually something that I worked with Dax to design. And it actually was the first card that we came up with for 2022. And it is Unnerving Familiarity. And I will be paying 5 for this very, very interesting event card. I will force my opponent to name any one Michael Bublé song, or the opponent team will be unable to contribute their skills to a sight skill check this turn.
Johansson! Open this door! Open this door! Johansson!
For the first time, we saw the enemy that was killing us.
This is, as I like to call it, the Michael Bublé skill check, David. So if you are not well versed in Michael Bublé songs, unfortunately, this card is going to be proving very detrimental to you this round. If you can name one Michael Bublé song, you will be able to contribute your skills to the skill check.
Let me think here.